Well, hello everyone, it's Jordan Power here. So this video will be on the topic of disruptive AI content. So let's have a cup of tea as we talk about this topic and enjoy the Minecraft theme. Alright, so more recently, there's been a big problem of disruptive sermons, or fake AI sermons, that are passed off as being made by biblically sound creatures. So what I'm saying here is that there are fake AI sermons online. They are being made out of biblically sound creatures. So what are some notable red flags to look out for? Or some red flags to look out for are if heresy is being preached, obviously. And then another red flag is if the supposed if the AI voice sounds if the voice sounds different from what the preacher actually sounds like, then that would be a red flag. So, for example, if you go and listen to a sermon that you think was from Paul Washer, and if the sermon sounds totally different from how Paul Washer actually sounds like, then that's a red flag that it's a fake AI sermon being made out of Paul Washer. And in the same way, if you were to listen to a sermon that you think is from Vodi Balkem, or from R.C. Sproul, and if the voice sounds totally different from what they actually sound like, then yeah, that is a definite red flag that it's a fake AI sermon. The type of tea I'm drinking this time around is cherry blossom tea. Alright, so it's ideal to avoid the fake AI sermons, especially since they are often filled with obvious heresies. These the fake AI sermons are also one of the forms of the end times deception that is taking place in this day and age. An increase in deception is indeed one of the signs of the end times. So that explains the reason why discernment is important. Our discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong, but it's actually knowing the difference between the right and almost right. So, when we use discernment, then that prevents us from buying into heresies. While on the other hand, without discernment, we will easily get deceived. Especially if a heretic preaches heresy in a convincing manner. So Matthew 7:15 warns us about false teachers. And false teachers have the deceptive goal of leading others astray. There's plenty of false teachers who care more about money than they do about people. Not only do you have false teachers, we also have false prophets, and even false apostles. And then the Calvin Creek is an infamous example of a false apostle. She also practices false miracles. And the heretical AI content is very dangerous. This sort of thing does not do anyone a favor. So it's best to stick with human content that is biblically sound. Then it is to run to heretical AI content. And now this brings up the topic, or is the topic of AI a primary issue, a secondary issue, a tertiary issue, or a variable issue? Well, the answer to this question is, well, since AI could be used in many different ways, it's a variable issue. So since, well, when it comes to heretical AI content, it would be a primary issue in that case, because heretical content leads people to hell. Now, on the other hand, if a biblically sound or Christian short film was produced using characters, using AI voiceovers, then in that case, it's a secondary issue. So there's nothing wrong with doing that in such cases, as long as the Christian short film is biblically sound. And then when it comes to just playing around with AI in an entertaining manner, also not in a sinful manner, then in that case, it's a tertiary issue. So at that point, it's not really a theological issue. The reason why 1 John 4:1 tells us not to believe every spirit is because of heretics out there. We should definitely avoid the heretical AI content. And I've also seen some clips of heretical AI content that preaches extremely dangerous heresies. When it comes to the innocent usage of AI, it's a matter of personal conviction. So if you are convicted against using AI, then don't use it. Then if you do not feel convicted against using AI under innocent means, then by all means do so. just as long as you have the right motives. This also brings up the question, which is it okay for pastors to use AI to write sermons? The answer to this question is, I would say no. The reason why is that it's unwise to do that because AI does not follow the Holy Spirit, as AI is robotic. Plus AI can also lie. So, for example, if you ask AI how old is the Earth, AI is not going to tell you the young Earth creationist view. It is going to tell you the old Earth view. So AI can lie. So it's also possible for AI to generate heretical content if you have AI write sermons. So it's definitely unwise to have AI write sermons. While on the other hand, if the pastor writes the sermon himself, then he can put together biblically sound content inside of the sermon through Bible studying, studying what the chapter and verse is saying, and then as he writes the sermon, he could also revise any mistakes that he makes by accident. And when the sermon is finished being written, he can then go on and preach biblically sound truth. And if the pastor writes the sermon himself, then it is totally worth it, as he would be preaching biblical truth. So, having AI write sermons is not wise. Due to the possibility of heretical content being generated. So while the biblically sound pastor does follow the Holy Spirit, while on the other hand, AI does not. So in conclusion, on that topic, it is not a good idea to have AI write sermons. AI is also certainly not okay if it's being used for inappropriate content, as that would be lustful and destructive. So if AI is being used for making inappropriate content, then that is even worse, as that is was certainly not okay and it's very sinful. Alright, so that's it for this video on the topic of deceptive AI content. Have a nice day, and goodbye.